Hey guys, we're here playing Interloper today. This is an up-and-coming RTS that's in beta. Has an open weekend here, so you can try it out. And the idea of this is a RTS experience in 5 minutes. So, typical RTS, you're going to have an opening where you build a bunch of workers, maybe you scout, maybe you follow a build order that you have programmed in that you just do all the time. You can easily spend 5 minutes of an RTS not doing any fights and just building your stuff up. The idea of this game is to get that kind of early phase just out of the way and get right into the meat of the positioning of your troops and fighting them. So you start with a hero. Your hero runs around. He can capture territory for yourself. He can capture buildings. The two main buildings here are factories and power. So each factory produces workers, or drones rather, which are not really workers. They're more like, zerglings. They can fight each other on an equal basis. And the power makes them build faster. You need some power to do anything at all. So the two dots here mean that each factory is attached to 2 power supplies. Pretty straightforward. You can get up to 3 to make it go faster. So your zerglings, drones I guess they're called, but I keep thinking of them as zerglings. Basically what they do is they block movement of your opponent's hero. So I can't walk into this space, but if I trade off the zerglings I can walk into this space now. And then these guys are blocking me. So that's fair. So he can't capture this because my workers are on it. Pretty straightforward. This little arrow is like a one-way path. You can only travel through the way the arrow is pointing. Straightforward. So you can press space and you'll phase out. What the phasing does is it makes you invisible, it makes you move faster, and you can kind of dart around the map and go to surprising places. So in my case I managed to stick around the back here and attack his stuff. So your guys will slowly die if they spend too much time on enemy territory. But they can still cross over along here, and that's fine. They don't really have health, they'll just eventually just die instantly. So this is kind of an awkward spot for me because he has more map control. If you have a certain amount of map control, you just win the game right away. So that prevents stalemates from actually happening a lot of the time. So I kind of am hemmed in by his units. And this power is not actually helping anything because it's not attached to any factories by a line. So I have to figure out where I can go, what I can do. Because right now he's ahead of me by 1 production. He's producing 1 power from each of these factories, and I'm producing 1 total. So I'll eventually lose if I just wait. What I think I have to do is just phase. So when you're phased, you can move through things, but I'm done. Okay, so that was 3 minutes. That's how it goes. It's a fast little game. 1 mistake and you're basically done, which is fine. You're not going to end up stuck in a position where you're way behind for long, which I like. Same guy again, actually. There's almost nobody playing this right now, so you'll see the same players again and again. So you can queue your units like you can in normal RTS. So I'm going to move here, then here, then here. Just shift click to do your waypoints. These workers that are grayed out in the map, you walk over their territory and you get them for free. So that's kind of nice. But you also just want to get your production up as fast as possible so you can pump out drones. So there's no fog of war, notice, so I can see exactly what he's doing. I don't know if they're going to add fog of war because that seems like it would be kind of interesting. As it is, you sometimes just kind of know what they're going to do, and then you can just stand in their way. So I think you'd have a little more scope for comebacks if you did allow fog of war. So yeah, he's sending his first units here to block this power generator so I don't just go in and steal it. This map is cool because it has the factory, which lets you upgrade your units into better ones. And I'll talk about that in a second when I grab it. So you can send units into here, and there's 3 units you can build. There's this guy can shoot, so you can go pow pow, kind of. There we go. So you can just shoot drones, and the shots recharge after a little while. You can also build a sniper unit that can fire from farther away. And finally, you can build a wall that just sits there and blocks them from going any further. So there's a decent selection, decent variety of stuff happening. Well, he's kind of snuck in here and is now up in my grill. It's not good. But I'll capture his unit factory. Yeah, your guys can still die. So they have 3 health, your shooter, and if they shoot, so if 3 drones go into him, he'll trade against 3 drones. So I'm going to build a sniper here. The sniper needs line of sight, then he can just shoot things. So, pew, straightforward. He only has 1 health, so he will die. But you can get free material that way, so I'm up 2 drones now from that. He has a pretty long cooldown, but it's fine. Yeah, so his drone just walked in and shot my sniper. It only has 1 health, so it's definitely fragile. So my guy's completely hemmed in now. I'm going to phase, and then I can move through here and try to grab this outlying power source. But he's going for my symmetrical one. So something that ends up having a lot in this game is you just end up trading out and not really getting any advantage either way. So I'm going to build another sniper. Sniper can maybe get some more pickups. And I'll try to micro a little better so I can shoot and then I can move away and then I won't get rushed down by his units. Shoot another one. You can get pretty far ahead in workers this way if they cannot manage to rush you down. Because remember, his guys move slower when they're out of his own territory. I'll build another bruiser and I can shoot his guys. Yeah, okay, he caught me there. So you need to micro all your guys pretty carefully because they can and will get themselves killed for nothing. So I got a poke there. I'm now way too far in his territory. It's not doing anything good for me now. I need to get basically back out here and reclaim something. I gotta watch it for his snipers. Snipers will trade each other if they encounter each other. So I'm gonna snipe and then kind of run away. Same kind of thing, shoot and run away. I need this power source back because right now I don't have enough production. When your guys are damaged, they should run away, kind of thing. But now my guys are not in line of sight, so the sniper's going to have a hard time finding a target. Snipe that worker, then I can go in. But now he's kind of creeping in on me. I got to keep my guys in that kind of defensive line. The third unit you can build is just the wall. He's got 3 health, and he's at 2... he's 3 health, but he only costs 2 workers, so you can end up having a nice little wall there. So we've kind of gotten to a bit of a stalemate here. My wall has got a nice spot here. I'm going to try to maneuver around, but yeah, so his sniper shot my dude and then I was able to run away. But then my guys got sniped by that, so didn't end up getting much value out of that in total. The controls are not always that responsive, and I'm not really sure what's up with that. There's probably a better I don't know if I'm just new to the game or if I'm just having a lot of trouble, but my units don't always move where I want them to. So we're kind of engaged in a sniper war here, where we're trying to each get ahead in material. Yeah, so they can get sniped, and they can't really move too well. It's really tricky. So the 5-minute RTS claim certainly is not true if you end up in a place where neither player is really sure how to finish the map. I think I'll just trade the snipers here. That's fine. Alright, let's think where we can go now. We can go... Yeah, so I got a sniper pickup there, which is nice. He's now quite far ahead in material, so I need to really do something to get back in this game. Whenever you lose a sniper to just one little dude, you're behind. And my production's behind now too, so it's... Yeah, he's gonna manage to get in there. So right now he can kind of just wait because my production is much less than his. He has 6 production, I only have 3. And so that's probably enough with his standing army to just beat me. I would need to do something pretty special to get anywhere. Yeah, and I can't really even defend that well because his snipers can just hit my guys. Oops. So the line of sight is really important, and it's quite tricky to get your guys in line of sight properly. Yeah, so I need to protect my own power supplies, which is not really happening that well. Got a lot of guys down here that I haven't really been attacking. It's kind of interesting. Jeez, that guy is not doing his job properly. All right. He has a lot of units here. So I need to kite, and that's about all I can do to try to catch up on material. Which is working okay. Semi-okay right now. Because whenever his guys are going to poke up their head out, I can get a snipe on. It's my attempts to equalize here. Yeah, my commander's blocked in. I'm going to take this power over. Just try to have snipers in positions where I can get free shots on the way by. But now he's coming into my territory again. The sniper's dead. So I'm probably toast now. Let's think. Do I have any resources I can use? And all I can really do is try to get another unit together. Oops. Well, I've somehow gotten this factory, which I didn't expect to do. This guy is not connected to power, so there we go. As long as I sit here, I can stop him. Build a wall to protect this. So the wall has 3 health for two units, so I actually got a little bit of value there, which is nice. Oh geez, see he kind of phased through me. I'm not sure how that works, but that's not really cool. It's kind of a bug in my opinion. It just feels bad when they can just wander around and just grab your stuff. So I'll bring my guys into this junction, and now he cannot just claim that again. So my sniping has somehow gotten me ahead, which I'm not really sure how that happened because I thought I was quite toast. But now I'm going to bring these guys into the factory, and we're going to make some more advanced units, and that should get us in a good place. So I'm going to make 2 of these bruisers, and they'll be able to just shoot his production, which he doesn't even have any right now of. So at this point he should resign because he has no production. But I found that some people will resign when they should, which is when you definitely can't win anymore. Other people will just go to the bitter end for really no benefit to themselves. Like, I've got so many more guys right now that he cannot possibly overtake me. I just need to walk through and claim the rest of the territory, trade off on his units so he can't go anywhere. He's going to get 1 production here, but he'll have no power attached to it, so it's going to be tough for him to leverage that. So there you have it. So it's not quite 5 minutes, but it is fairly quick, and it's always action-packed. You're not sitting around your base wondering if you're going to get, cannon rush or something, because there's no build orders. You just go and do your thing. Something I do worry about is if you play the same map enough times, you're going to see either very rote openings that are required, or even someone will solve it and you'll just know that this is the best way to play this opening, which I don't think is cool. So, I mean, map pool design would help with that. It's just really a matter of figuring out what makes a good map in this game. So I just need to connect this, and then he can't really take it. So there we go, the connection's now made and he can't conquer it. So it's really important to have your connections made because it protects your factories, it protects your armies from getting built. So he just severed that, which was my fault for moving away. Now he's kind of stuck here. He can't really move, but his production is much higher than mine, which is a big problem. So in fact, I need to move here and just let him do his thing. I can rally these guys down around, which I think is fine. So I didn't move quite enough guys there, and he was able to come in and pick off my stuff. A lot of times in this game, it's first person to get to a square is going to have a huge advantage, which is kind of weird. But now I've got a sniper up, so I need to really just. My goal here is to try to gain material through sniping strategically. Easier said than done, but there's enough firing lines that it might be possible. So I just gotta run away when he comes near, and then I can maybe get my kills that way. So he's now built 1 sniper. With the sniper, you want to like kind of bait somebody into shooting you, and then you can shoot them. Yeah, so there's really a big trade-off there. So you can't target fire, which is kind of weird, actually. So your guys will generally shoot the wrong thing. They will shoot not the highest priority target. Like your snipers will shoot their wall guy and not shoot their sniper, which they need to be doing. So that's kind of an issue for me. Not sure if there is a solution to this, but because you can't really accurately target them anyway because it's fairly granular. Anyway, while I've been talking, I've just lost this game. I'm quite far behind. He can just trade it down with units. And I'll really be struggling. I've got no production left. So this one was around 5 minutes, but I got kind of distracted and let him get way back into my rear territory. Now he's just shutting me off, so I forfeit. And he's connected, so that's fine. It's a neat little game, but it's definitely not quite ready yet. Curious to see what they'll do with it. I wouldn't hate seeing Fog of War, or like if different maps with different units on them. That'd be kind of nice. There's a lot of good things happening. Like having everything on the same screen means you can see what's happening quite easily. If you played games like Planetary Annihilation, you have these, spherical planets, and you have more than one, so you really can't see what's happening hardly at all. It's a big challenge just to flick your view around and control the camera to where things are happening. This is a lot more elegant in that sense. I think you also might want to have some way to know the ETA when your guys move, because what tends to happen to me is I'll move a guy and he'll move a guy and they'll both reach the square at almost the same time, but the first one there will kind of pop in, the second there will just get shut out. It's really hard to know who's going to win that race. It makes it kind of twitchy because it really matters how early you press the button. And I think even your ping probably matters for that, because of how fast your signal gets to the host saying I moved my unit. So I don't know. It's not exactly a macro game. Having more production is good and positioning is good, but it's just microing your guys a lot. Like the sniper micro is pretty intensive, trying to get free pickups. And same with your destroyers, which are the big unit. They require a lot of micro to use them effectively because they can get picked off pretty easily otherwise. So at some point it's like a question of what you think RTS is about. Is it about, dancing around with your units, trying to get jockeying for lines? Or should it be more about positioning and unit composition? I don't think there's necessarily a right answer to that. So I'm going to build a sniper first here and shoot this guy. So the first person to get advanced units has a pretty good size advantage, because this guy will hold the pass by himself, and he'll also, you can see his line of sight here. He can shoot quite a few things. Even the basic wall unit, I think it has enough value in that it has 3 health, so it defends a choke reasonably well. Yeah, this guy is doing insane work. So this guy will sit in the choke and he'll stop him from going through. So this is a case where it was pretty clear that I got there first, but sometimes it's not clear at all who got there first, and it's a little unsatisfying. So you can probably see that this guy is done. He's lost this game in under 2 minutes. Which I think is a nice little thing, because it still feels like he made clear mistakes. So he kind of lost it fair and square in that respect. It's not like I did some cheesy build that just happened to work. It's really a matter of positioning, micro, capturing stuff in the right order is important. Yeah, so he should just resign here, but he's not. I'll send a guy over to hold this down. I actually got a ton of extra dudes I didn't even think about up here. So I'll make some destroyers. Just love the visuals of this game. This game looks beautiful. The color scheme is just amazing. And the unit design is really nice. And just the visual look is very clean. Like these little circles are very clean. There's not too much going on. You can see kind of what's happening. The little edge where they join, really nice looking. So I'm just gonna see, that was kind of weird. He kind of flopped in. Maybe it was lag or something, but it's weird when they just teleport into your location and you're not really sure how they got there. I'll just cover more territory and win the game that way. It feels almost like a formality, because once you're ahead by, like, say you're ahead by 6 drones, you basically have won the game. It's very hard to come back from that kind of material disadvantage. I don't think I've ever had a game where I was behind on an army, but then I was ahead on territory and won that way. So usually if you're ahead on an army, you can just trade off against his army, and then you can have free reign while he can't move very well. So we're going in the rematch. Gonna do the same thing as last time. Like I said, like for each map, it seems like there's probably a single best build order that's optimal, and you can just do that one every single time. So it's going to need some variety in the map pool, or otherwise do something to keep the game fresh. I think I'll stop and pick up this unit. I'm not sure how good it is to grab like one extra unit at a given time. So by placing a guy here, I will manage to keep this connection alive, which protects him. And now I can get my advanced units together. I'm going to go for the early snipering, because that worked very well last time. And go for more factories as well. So now I've got, okay, they just traded off, and that's fine. At this point I'm ahead in production, so trading off is definitely to my benefit. Rally point to the factory, and I can just make a lot of advanced units. Another sniper seems good. Can probably get the free pickup on this guy. Unless he sees me first. No, he doesn't, so then I can go through here. Yeah, open the line of sight up. See, I didn't have a guy here, and that was kind of a misplay, because he's able to take over this building now, which he shouldn't have. But see, when you're ahead in army, you're ahead in territory too, in my experience. You don't need to really take territory until you've convincingly won the game anyway. So at this point he's done. He has no production happening. There's almost no, he's behind like 12 units or so. All that remains for me is to really just consolidate my position, and I will win. Which means, you know, protecting your power supplies. With the powers protected, then everything else is protected too. Like, you cannot cap this because it's protected by the power supply. It's a neat little mechanic. I like the way that works. So now that this has been isolated, you can kind of capture it. One more thing I like to see is that you can't really tell if, like, this guy's dying slowly when he's leaving my domain, but you can't see how much time he has left. I think it's like 3 squares he can survive or something like that. Like the time to travel 3 squares, but it's really unclear. And it sucks when you're like, you're hoping your guy will make it and he doesn't make it. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a wall here. I don't want to talk about the wall. It blocks my guys, but I can send one guy in to trade against it, and then I can turn it into my own. So yeah, what else is there about this game? There's hotkeys, so 1 makes select your hero, 2 makes the nearest drone. Pretty straightforward, classic stuff, but it's nice not to do it manually. Like in StarCraft, I'd make my command center on control 3 or whatever, but here it's automatically just set up. Just kind of nice. I'll try the same build as before because that was working out for me. What I'm not clear on yet is how important it is to grab that first wall. Like this middle area. Maybe it's not. I'm gonna kind of headbutt here. So he's gotten his units up here first. He's gonna have the first sniper. Means for me I gotta keep my line of sight really clear, really clean. Or try to mob rush him like that. If you can get up close to the sniper, you can just beat the sniper that way, which is nice. And at that point you're quite far ahead because you're up basically 2 full drones. Because the sniper costs 3 and you only paid 1 to kill it. Yeah, so he needs to really watch out where his guys are moving. Because if you micro them properly, you can get them into a nice areas where they're kind of hidden from the opponent. So like, when you click the sniper, you see its sight line here where you can shoot, and that's a nice little interface moment. So again, I can't cap this because it's wired for the power like this, so I got to go around the back and try to get it that way. But snipers against base units is just hopeless for the base unit. So I can advance my snipers up, and he's got no protection and no units, so he's done. So in a case like that, if he got in there first, he would have been able to build the unit, and that would be pretty good for him. He's trying to go around the back now, but when you have no units, you can't actually take territory. So I think the territory mechanism as a victory condition is kind of weird. It's not quite what it needs to be. Kind of almost like you can, in Age of Empires you can build a wonder where you can just have enough resources that you just build this cool big thing and you win that way. You could have that in this game where you just build like a 8 drone unit and it wins you the game. I don't know if that's really unsatisfying, but I don't know. Games, despite being like 6 minutes, still can drag a little bit when the other players clearly lost and they won't resign. I'm not sure what the solution to that is. It might just be a cultural thing. Like in chess, if you're down your queen and a knight, you're probably just going to resign and it's fine. Or even like Prismata, same kind of dealio. You get breached and you can't recover, you're going to resign. Maybe the game is fine and players just need to resign when they're done. Hard to say. So yeah, there's only 5 units in the game. There's your commander, the drone, and then there's the wall, the sniper, and there's the destroyer. The question is that is that enough units to make a satisfying game? And I'm not sure the answer to that yet. I do notice that the units that are there are all pretty well differentiated, which is cool. Like the sniper has a nice line of sight thing going on where it really feels like a sniper. You're darting around, picking up kills, terrorizing the opponent. The destroyer is a little bit cumbersome, and it really can only destroy like isolated groups of units. Because if there's 3 of them, like 3 drones just straight up trade against a destroyer, which costs 4 drones to make. So for the destroyer to gain value, you have to either be killing walls or things that can't fight back, or like soaking up sniper fire and regenerating, or like picking off 1 drone at a time when you can't get rushed down. So as a unit, I think it works, but it's a little awkward to use. I'm not sure if more range would be overpowered on it or not, because right now it has a 1 square range, which means you're pretty vulnerable to getting rushed down. But I think that's probably important to have some way to rush down destroyers so that they don't just build them first and win the game that way. So the balance seems in an okay place right now for the limited unit pool. I wouldn't hate having more units if they could be as well balanced as these ones are. It would be cool to have maybe, I don't know, asymmetrical unit pools. That might be really hard to balance. Like one cool thing in StarCraft is that you start off with asymmetrical races, and then the game branches off pretty fast from that at that point. You can't just both do the same moves for the first, 1 minute, because already you're playing a different race, and it demands different strategies to be applied. Here, where you're both the exact same, the same strategy applies all the time. So you might see people doing the same mirror opening early on. Like I think my opening I had in the last game was just better than his. His best response is probably to play the exact same opening as me if he doesn't have a better one. At which point we're going to be, equal or stalemated until somebody messes up. At that point, the game could be decided by, who clicked later and didn't get to the square that was needed to get to, or whose sniper shot the wrong target and didn't kill the important thing, or whatever. So asymmetry starts to make the game look quite different even earlier, and that would be a cool idea. Even if each race had like 1 unique unit on top of the 3 that you can build from the factory, that would be kind of nice. But I get that the balance is tough too, and they're a very small studio it seems. So I'd rather have a small balance pool than have a bunch of units that are kind of ridiculous. Alrighty, so nobody's here yet. I'm going to try to get a bigger map that's nice to see. I find the big maps are more interesting than the small maps because there's a little more room for it to develop. And also you can't just go across the map as quickly. When your Sentinel can just warp anywhere pretty fast, it becomes hard to surprise the opponent. I think a surprise factor is nice to have in an RTS. Even if there's no fog of war, at least when your Sentinel is warped away, he's invisible to the other player and you can maybe attack from a different angle. Maybe. I mean, it's hard to really do that because your workers are needed for an attack, and they're always visible. So if you need to like clear out a side to move your sentinel in, that's going to involve putting workers to trade against the opponent's workers. So one idea for a new unit could be a unit that, you know, is a stealthy unit, and it phases out, and it can go around, and it can pop up at a given time and surprise your opponent that way. It'd be kind of nice. Well, maybe no one's going to join, so I might just call it here. Thanks for watching, guys. Check the game out if you haven't, or if it looks interesting to you. It's kind of a neat concept. Take care.